Hello everyone and welcome to CIMCON Lighting's version 4 of our CMS or Central Management Software System for outdoor lighting controls. In today's lesson we're going to go over how to create lighting schedules to simplify schedule automation. Once we log in, we will navigate across the ribbons bar to the Commands tab, where we will be focusing on the Schedule submodule. Let's go ahead and click the Mixed Mode button and Set. As you can see, a dialog box will pop up here on the screen. Now, a little overview on what a mixed mode schedule is. Mixed mode schedules are a really versatile tool for automating lighting schedules to be applied to a group of SLCs or to the entire batch in the environment. These schedules operate based on time of day and on events such as sunrise and sunset or motion detection events. Now, let's go ahead and create a new schedule. So what I'm going to do, from this drop-down menu, I'll select New Template, and we'll give it a name. And then we want to select number of schedules. Let's say we have a client that's in a residential area and wants to have two mixed mode schedules, one for weekdays and one for weekends. So I'll come in here and enter 2 for number of schedules and click Add. Now, to give you a brief explanation of this window, what we see over here on the left-hand side of the window is the calendar settings for the schedule. The start and end day and month, as well as the days of the week that we want to apply this schedule for. Over here to the right is the individual time chunks or intervals that we want to define for this particular lighting schedule. So let's first start off with the weekday schedule. For each time chunk that we want to apply to the schedule, make sure we'll click this box over here. Now let's say we want to kick this schedule off right around sunset. We'll say 30 minutes before sunset. To do that, we have this delay field, which allows you to delay it after the time or before the start time. In this case, minus 30 means 30 minutes before sunset. And the end time, I will select 10 p.m. And during that time interval, I want the light to be at 100% output, meaning I'm applying 0% dimming. Okay, now next, come here, check this row for the next time slot. I'll go 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Now let's say during the week there isn't a whole ton of civilian traffic at these hours, so we can output less light, save a little bit more money. So we'll go ahead and apply 65% dimming, meaning the light is at 35% output. For that last chunk of time, the 4 a.m. to sunrise interval, this is going to be particular for those early risers that are getting on the road before the sun's actually up. We want to bring these lights up to 100% output for that slot to make sure they can be safe on the roads during that time. The SLCs have GPS coordinates, which enable them to use the astro clock function to determine when sunrise and sunset is. That's one of those events that I had talked about that we can utilize here in the mixed mode schedule. We have sunset up top and sunrise down below. Now, to actually define the calendar settings when we want to send this, we're going to come over here to this left-hand side. I just selected Send to Device and Enabled. Send to Device sends it to the controllers, and Enabled actually activates the schedule to run. So I'm going to select the start day and start month. In this case, it's all weekdays for the entire year, so I want it to run every weekday of every year. So I'll go from the 1st of January to the 31st of December, and I'll select all the weekdays here. Now I'm going to move on to the weekend schedule. It's going to look pretty similar here. I'm going to define each interval line by line, and in this case, we'll say it's a little bit higher traffic on the streets at this time, so we're going to bring the lights on a little bit earlier, 45 minutes before sunset. And we'll end that interval at 10 p.m. During that interval, we want to have the light at 100% output. We'll make sure that the streets are well lit during those dusk hours so that everyone commuting or walking back from school is safe on the streets. Now the next chunk, I'll come over and we will start this at 10 p.m. and go till 4 a.m. Let's say during the weekend it's a little bit higher traffic on these streets, so we want to have the lights be a little bit brighter, so I'll only apply 50% dimming in this case, so 50% output. Then I'll come over here and finalize the schedule from 4 a.m. to sunrise, and I'm going to bring the lights back up to 100% output for those early morning hours, early commuters. Come over here, I want to send it to the device, enable it, and apply the same settings here from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. And in this case, I'm going to select Saturday and Sunday because this is our weekend schedule. Now that I've defined the specific parameters of each of these schedules, I want to come down here to a familiar window that we've seen in other training modules. It's the Slc Details, which selects which SLCs we want this schedule to be applied to. So as you know, we could just send it to all the SLCs related to a particular gateway, or we could come up here to a real convenient option and send it to a SLC group that is pre-configured. We actually went over this in a previous training module called Creating SLC Groups. These logical groups allow us to apply this schedule to all associated SLCs. So once I've selected that group name, you can see here that it automatically checks them down below. And once I've confirmed, you know that this schedule looks appropriate, and these are the appropriate SLCs, I'll come down here and click Send Schedule. Now that will send the schedule to the controllers, stored in their memory, and they will begin operating on that schedule right away. Now the last step here is to save the template so we can use this mixed mode template again. So I just click that Save button, and it will be stored within the CMS for future use. That's all for today's lesson, everyone. Thank you all for watching. Please pass along any questions or comments you may have. Good luck, and hope to see you again in the future.